Imagine a scene, a desolate mountain pass. The air is thin and the cold bites at your skin, seeping through layers of clothing. The landscape is a vast expanse of white, broken only by the jagged peaks of the Ural Mountains. The silence is deafening, interrupted only by the occasional gust of wind. The biting wind howls like a banshee across the snow-covered slopes of the Ural Mountains. It carries with it the sting of ice and the promise of danger. The snowstorm rages, reducing visibility to mere feet, and the world becomes a swirling vortex of white. 9 hikers lie lifeless, their bodies twisted and broken, scattered across the frozen landscape, their once vibrant lives now reduced to eerie stillness. Each body tells a story of struggle and despair, their final moments etched into the snow. Their tent, ripped open from the inside, offers a silent testament to their final desperate moments. The fabric flaps in the wind, a ghostly reminder of the terror that must have gripped them. Inside, belongings are strewn about, abandoned in haste. It is February 2nd, 1959. The world is a different place, yet the harshness of winter remains unchanged. The cold is unforgiving, and survival in such conditions requires skill and experience. A rescue team stumbles upon this chilling tableau on the eastern slope of Kholat Syakhl, later renamed the Dyatlov Pass after the ill-fated expedition leader Igor Dyatlov. The rescuers, seasoned and hardened by the elements, are unprepared for the horror that greets them. What they find defies explanation. The scene is chaotic, and the rescuers are left with more questions than answers. Their faces, etched with shock and confusion, mirror the incomprehensible nature of the tragedy before them. Some bodies are clad only in underwear, their faces frozen in silent screams. The sight is both surreal and horrifying, a stark contrast to the serene beauty of the snow-covered landscape. The cold has preserved their expressions, capturing their final moments of terror. Others bear horrific injuries, crushed ribs, fractured skulls, a missing tongue. These injuries are not consistent with a simple fall or avalanche. They speak of a force, a violence that is both brutal and inexplicable. The scene is one of unimaginable horror, a macabre puzzle scattered across the frozen tundra. Each piece of the puzzle adds to the mystery, deepening the sense of dread and confusion. The snow, once a symbol of purity, now serves as a canvas for this grim tableau. The question hangs heavy in the air, echoing through the desolate landscape. What unimaginable force could have driven these experienced hikers to flee their tent into the deadly embrace of a freezing night? Theories abound, but none can fully explain the sheer terror that must have driven them to such desperate measures. The mystery of the Dyatlov Pass Incident had begun. It is a mystery that would captivate and baffle the world for decades to come. Each new piece of evidence only adds to the enigma, drawing more questions than answers. The discovery sends shockwaves through the Soviet Union. In a time of political tension and secrecy, the incident becomes a focal point of fear and speculation. The public, already wary of the unknown, is gripped by the chilling details that emerge. What began as a search and rescue mission quickly morphs into a criminal investigation. Authorities are baffled, and the lack of clear answers only fuels the fire of speculation. Theories range from the plausible to the fantastical, each one adding a new layer to the mystery. The world watches, captivated and horrified, as details of the tragedy slowly emerge from the icy grip of the Ural Mountains. Newspaper headlines scream of the bizarre and the unexplained, and the Dyatlov Pass Incident becomes a legend, a story told and retold, each version more chilling than the last. It was January 1959. The world was a different place back then, a time when the spirit of adventure was alive and well, and the call of the wild was irresistible to those with a thirst for exploration. The Cold War was in full swing, and the space race was capturing imaginations. But for a group of young Soviet students, the allure of the untamed wilderness was far more compelling. A group of 10 young, adventurous souls, each one driven by a desire to push their limits and experience the raw beauty of nature, brimming with the spirit of exploration, they were united by a common goal: to conquer the harsh frozen terrain of the northern Ural Mountains. They set out on a challenging ski trek, a journey that would test their endurance, their camaraderie, and their resolve. The northern Ural Mountains, with their rugged beauty and unforgiving climate, were both a dream and a formidable adversary. Led by the experienced Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old radio engineering student at the Ural Polytechnical Institute, the group was in capable hands. Igor was not just a leader, he was a visionary, someone who saw beyond the immediate challenges to the greater glory of the adventure. The group consisted mostly of his fellow students and recent graduates, each one bringing their own unique strengths and personalities to the expedition. They were a tight-knit team, bound by their shared passion for exploration and their trust in Igor's leadership. There was Yuri Doroshenko, the jokester of the group, always ready with a witty remark to lift everyone's spirits. His humor was a vital ingredient in the group's dynamic, providing much-needed levity during the grueling trek. Zina Kolmogorova, the quiet beauty, her diary filled with poetic observations of the journey. Zina's introspective nature and her ability to find beauty in the harshest of environments added a layer of depth to the group's experience. Lyudmila Dubinina, the fiery redhead, known for her determination and fierce independence. Lyudmila's strength and resilience were an inspiration to the others, her fiery spirit a beacon in the cold wilderness. And 4 other young men, each with their own dreams, their own stories: Yuri Krivonishenko, Rustem Slobodin, Nikolai Thibault-Brignol, and Alexander Kolovatov. Each one brought their own unique skills and perspectives, making the group a diverse and well-rounded team. Yuri Krivonishenko, with his infectious enthusiasm and boundless energy. Rustem Slobodin, the quiet thinker, always analyzing and planning. Nikolai Thibault-Brignol, the practical one, with a knack for solving problems. And Alexander Kolovatov, the intellectual, whose curiosity and knowledge were invaluable. Their goal, Otorten Mountain, a peak shrouded in local Mansi folklore, whispered to be the mountain of the dead. The mountain's ominous reputation only added to the allure of the expedition, a challenge that none of them could resist. The hikers were well prepared, experienced in the challenges of winter trekking. They had trained rigorously, honing their skills and preparing their equipment for the harsh conditions they would face. Their journey was meant to be a test of their skills, a testament to their youthful vigor. They were determined to prove themselves, to conquer the wilderness and return with stories of triumph and adventure. They could not have known it would become a one-way trip into one of history's most baffling mysteries. The frozen wilderness held secrets that would forever change the lives of those who ventured into its depths, and the world would come to know their story as the Dyatlov Pass Incident. Weeks later, the discovery of the abandoned campsite only deepened the mystery. The tent, hastily cut open from the inside, lay half buried in the snow. Belongings, food, equipment, even shoes were left behind, strewn around the campsite as if abandoned in a desperate flight. Footprints, some barefoot, some clad in socks or single shoes, led away from the tent, disappearing into the darkness. The tracks painted a picture of chaos, a panicked escape into the unforgiving night. What could have driven these experienced hikers, properly equipped for the harsh winter conditions, to abandon their shelter and flee into the -30°C night? The investigators found no signs of a struggle, no indication of an attack by animals or other humans. The campsite, nestled in the shadow of the mountain they called Dead Mountain, whispered a tale of terror, but offered no answers. Section 4, Whispers of Unseen Forces. The hikers' bodies, recovered over the next few months, painted an even more perplexing picture. The scene that greeted the search teams was one of chaos and confusion. The tent, half buried in snow, had been cut open from the inside, suggesting a desperate attempt to escape something unknown. Personal belongings were scattered, as if the hikers had fled in a hurry, leaving behind their warm clothing and essential gear. While some died from hypothermia, their exposure explained by their scant clothing, others bore injuries inconsistent with a simple fall or exposure to the elements. The footprints leading away from the tent were barefoot, indicating that the hikers had left in a state of panic, unprepared for the harsh conditions outside. The searchers found bodies at varying distances from the tent, some huddled together as if seeking warmth, others sprawled in the snow, their final moments frozen in time. Massive internal injuries, like those inflicted by a powerful force, were found in some. These injuries were baffling to the investigators. The force required to cause such damage was immense, yet there were no external wounds to explain the trauma. It was as if the bodies had been subjected to a crushing pressure, something beyond the realm of ordinary human experience. Others had strange, almost inexplicable injuries, crushed ribs, fractured skulls. The nature of these injuries led some to speculate about the involvement of an unknown, possibly supernatural force. The lack of external wounds only deepened the mystery, as did the absence of any signs of struggle or defensive injuries. It was as if the hikers had been caught off guard by something they could neither see nor understand. Lyudmila Dubinina was found with her tongue and eyes missing. This gruesome discovery added a macabre twist to the already perplexing case. The removal of these body parts suggested a level of violence and intent that was hard to reconcile with the other evidence. Some theorized that animals might have scavenged the bodies, but the precision of the injuries made this explanation seem unlikely. The injuries were so severe, so unusual, that some experts suggested they were consistent with the impact of a car crash or a powerful explosion. This comparison highlighted the extreme nature of the forces at play, yet there were no signs of an explosion or any other event that could account for such devastation. The mystery only deepened as more details emerged. The official Soviet investigation, conducted under a shroud of secrecy, concluded that a compelling natural force was responsible for the deaths. This vague and unsatisfactory explanation did little to quell the growing speculation. The secrecy surrounding the investigation only fueled rumors and conspiracy theories. Some believed that the government was hiding something, perhaps a secret military experiment gone wrong, or an encounter with a classified technology. This vague explanation did little to quell the rising tide of speculation. The public, unsatisfied with the official narrative, began to propose their own theories. Some suggested that the hikers had encountered a yeti or some other unknown creature. Others believed that they had stumbled upon a secret military test site and had been silenced to protect state secrets. The lack of concrete answers left room for endless speculation. The mystery of the Dyatlov Pass only deepened, the whispers of unseen forces growing louder in the silence left by the official narrative. The eerie landscape of the pass, with its snow-covered peaks and dark, foreboding forests, seemed to hold its secrets close. As the years passed, the story of the Dyatlov Pass Incident became a legend, a chilling tale of unexplained terror that continues to captivate and mystify. The whispers of unseen forces remain, echoing through the frozen wilderness, a reminder of the thin line between the known and the unknown. Section 5. The weight of silence theories take shape. The lack of concrete answers and the Soviet authorities' reluctance to share information fueled a firestorm of speculation. Theories, ranging from plausible to outlandish, took root in the fertile ground of mystery. Some suggested an avalanche, a sudden and violent event that could explain the hikers' panicked flight and the horrific injuries. Others pointed to the possibility of an animal attack, positing that a bear or pack of wolves could have startled the hikers, leading to their desperate escape. But none of these theories fully explained the strange injuries, the missing clothing, the eerie absence of any other signs of struggle. The weight of the unknown pressed heavily on the case. The silence from official channels only served to amplify the growing chorus of questions. The Dyatlov Pass incident wasn't just a tragedy. It was a puzzle begging to be solved. A siren call to anyone who dared to seek the truth. For more stories like this, please like and subscribe to Oblivion Unlocked.